tax bill, which includes all types of taxes, and here's the key statistic, has increased by, get this, 2,705% since 1961. So the tax bill has grown rapidly, more than any other expenditure item out there. What do you think of this? But that was my whole beef about taxes and high amount of taxes, because you know what, I pay them, and initially I used to be an idiot. I was an idiot. I thought that, hey, I'm being a good citizen. Because guess what? When I see people out there abusing social services, oh, hey everybody, welcome back to Canadian CMI YouTube channel, where we talk about all things related to affairs in Canada, economics, social commentary, primarily in Canada, but we also discuss affairs related to the world as they might affect Canada as well. So if you like just learning more about things in Canada, well, make sure to subscribe to this channel. And my primary premise for starting this particular channel was to cover the insanely gorgeous travel beauty of this country. So if you like, make sure to like, subscribe, and check out those travel vlogs. I'm sure you'll love them. So hang in there, don't go anywhere. We're going to be discussing a very critical issue today, and that is, well, I'll tell you right after this trailer. So the topic for today's vlog is about the high percentage of taxes in Canada. And how do we compare today in terms of how much we're paying in taxes as Canadians versus how we were paying, let's say, 30, 40 years ago? And I found this really cool and interesting and fascinating study on Fraser Institute, which talks about taxes versus the necessities of life. That's the title of this particular report. Make sure to check it out. It's on fraserinstitute.org, which is a think tank that publishes a lot of interesting facts and statistics about affairs in Canada. I highly recommend everyone to check it out. Now, it's showing basically what it's saying, that as compared to 1961 versus 2023, in 1961, get this, 57% of the total bill in a Canadian household was about necessities, whereas taxes only accounted for 34%. Now check this. Comparing that to today, 2023, or last year I should say, 36% of the Canadian household bill goes towards necessities, whereas 43%, and here's the key number, 43% goes towards taxes. Yeah, you heard that right. The average Canadian is paying, well, not 50%, but let's say it's getting there. It's more than 40% of what their household bill comprises. 43% of that goes towards taxes. So if you think that that's a low number, well, I don't know what to say to you. It's not a low number. And a lot of people will probably complain after watching this video and say that, well, what's your problem? You're paying, you should be accountable for the community and for the country that you live in. You should be paying taxes. Look, I'm all about being a good citizen and fulfilling your civic duty towards your country, towards your community. Of course, it's all about that. But when you're paying when you work in 3 jobs, okay, and when your spouse is working another job, so let's say that you're working a full-time job, you're working 2 part-time jobs, your spouse is working a full-time job, and you're killing yourselves, you would like to make sure that, that amount that is being cut from taxes, or the amount that you're paying as taxes towards the government is going in the right place. And right now, and also that it's not just killing you, right? So there's 2 elements here. First of all, you want to make sure that amount is going towards the right place. The second thing is you're not just paying all of your income in taxes, because, hey, you're not working for the government. You're working in a private sector and in a capitalist environment. You should be able to at least save some of the money for your own family, for your own community, to be able to invest that money, right? Just in so many different things. And this is not about capitalism versus communism. I'm not in favor of communism at all. I think that capitalism has definitely done a great deal to uplift citizens out of poverty, to make lives better. Now, This is not to say that we should go the extreme capitalistic route where we start, prisons start charging money for housing inmates. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that capitalism has worked. Despite its imperfections, capitalism by far is still a very good economic system. So having said that, I think that most of the money that is going from your paycheck or that you're paying in taxes, most of it should be kept by the individual. And if there's a certain percentage taken by the government, should be held accountable, and the government should be putting that and you should be able to see your tax dollars in play in an effective manner, in a productive manner. Now, when I'm reading this report, and it's a really cool report, as I pointed out on FraserInstitute.org, which is where I get my numbers, I always like looking at official numbers from any published website or resource, not just Facebook. So I do my research when I'm bringing this news to you. So there is this fascinating report. It tracks from 1961 till 2023 the Canadian Consumer Tax Index, which gives you, it's sort of like a comparison about what are some of the factors that have affected the typical Canadian family's tax bill over that period of time, over that huge period of time, which is more than 40 years, 50 years. So it goes through a lot of different interesting numbers. It talks about, the budget. It talks about the tax and basic expenditures of the average Canadian family from 1961 to 2023. I highly recommend you check out this report because it talks a lot about these interesting pieces of information. And while I was going through this report, I was struck by the conclusion in this report. And the conclusion is that the Canadian Tax Index tracks the total tax bill paid by a Canadian family. It shows that the burden that the Canadian family is facing today is too much. Okay, it's too much. The total tax bill, which includes all types of taxes, and here's the key statistic, has increased by, get this, 2,705% since 1961. So the tax bill has grown rapidly, more than any other expenditure item out there. What do you think of this? Put your comments in the comments below. Put your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think about this number, and how do you feel about this? I mean, how much I'd like to ask all Canadians out there, small business owners, salaried people, business owners, anybody and everybody out there. I mean, how do you feel about the fact that majority of your income goes towards taxes? And I mean, are you okay with that? Or, you're fine with that? I mean, I read this somewhere else as well, that the average Canadian works till June for the government, and then after that starts working for himself or herself. So more than half the year, or approximately almost half the year, whatever you're earning, that is just gone to paying the government for taxes, and the rest is what you get to keep. So how do you feel about that? I mean, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. What are your opinions on this matter? I'd love to hear from you. And it's just crazy, here's my personal beef with this, is that, okay, it's fine, deduct taxes. We're responsible citizens. That's great. Governments need tax revenue to be able to run various programs. I get that. Now, having said that, when you get sick and you go to the doctor and you have an insane amount of wait time, you wonder, hey, where did that tax dollar go? When you go and try and make sure that you're trying to buy a house, for example, or if you're a developer and you're and you have an insane amount of red tape, I should say, and this is not just taxes, but it is taxes as well if you think about it, that you have an insane amount of red tape to be able to build houses, and you have to pay high amounts of taxes to the government. Well, then how do you run your business? Small business owners, they have to pay high amounts of taxes. How do they manage? I get that there's a certain amount of taxes that you have to pay, and I also get the fact that you have to tax citizens. You tax citizens according to the brackets that they're earning income in, but which I find that very strange is the fact that if people are earning the highest amount of salaries, they're taxed the most. They generally will not. People at that higher level of income are going to find ways to make sure that they don't pay that much in tax. So what's the solution here? Is just charging taxes the solution? Shouldn't governments be held accountable for how they're spending the tax dollars, the hard-earned tax dollars? And how do you feel when you see that you're paying a high amount of taxes and that money is going to house asylum seekers, war efforts in other countries, when in fact that money should be directed towards helping the citizens of that country? Don't you think so? Let me know in the comments. That was my whole beef about taxes and high amount of taxes, because you know what, I pay them, and initially I used to be very gung-ho about it. Yeah, I'm gonna pay my taxes and I can pay as much as possible. I was an idiot, I thought that, hey, I'm being a good citizen. Because guess what, when I see people out there abusing social services, abusing the systems of the government, when I see people, different cases of people out there not working as hard as I'm working, or even not working at all, I can tell that they're capable people. Makes me wonder that, am I subsidizing someone's lifestyle that might not be a very good, disciplined, hardworking lifestyle that is filled, that rewards good effort, that rewards good citizenship, good responsibility towards society? Am I contributing towards sustaining the lifestyle of someone who doesn't have that same set of values that this great country of Canada was built on? Canada was all about community. It's all about people helping each other, and that's where I believe that taxes can be used well. And this is a complex topic. I'm not going into the depths of, hey, how should the government spend taxes? I don't have a degree in tax, okay, but I do have a degree in accounting. And I do understand basic personal expenditures and how tax, having a high amount of tax rate is not good for the country in any essence. There should be minimal amount of taxes, as much as necessary, to be able to run services, while ensuring that people who are working hard are able to keep most of their money so they can invest that money and grow their family and live a satisfied lifestyle at the end of the day. So yeah, that's my my rant for today. Let me know what you think of this vlog, guys, in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinions. Until next time, bye from Canadian. See ya. And as I always say, even though we're going through some of the toughest economic times in recent memory, in recent history, hang in there. Hopefully it gets better. See you next time.